Good morning. Today I am doing the week of the 25th through the 1st. On the 30th, we have a solar eclipse in Taurus. And today I am just going to talk a little bit. I'm going to bring my microphone just a little closer because I don't have the loudest voice. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Uranus. The cards that we got today for our reading are Voyager. And I just had a real strong inclination that in this reading that what was really going to stand out, because I usually lay my cards out and sit with them for a period of time to attempt to understand intuitively what the cards might be saying. So it might be a technique that might be beneficial to those who are introspective and intuitive, and this is how I actually prepare for reading. As I lay the cards out, I let them sit, I think about it for a period of time, and then do the reading. Here we have Voyager Tarot, the Man of Cups, okay? And what is the Man of Cups? Well, he's a surfer. He's someone that's kind of riding the wave of life. And are we not all doing that? That is what life is about. It's learning to ride the wave. It's learning to become the surfer. It's learning to engage and live the life you've been given. And how does Uranus factor in for this solar eclipse? Well, Uranus is the great humanitarian that comes to life in the 11th house of groups, where he's bringing with him a revolution, a new way forward, something out of the box. The surfer, somebody who maybe doesn't know the rules, someone who doesn't understand all the details, yet has to come out and navigate the waves. And what is all this for? Well, crystals are about thoughts. Crystals are like your swords, and so we have an ace of crystal. It's to bring about new ideas, a new way of thinking. And I think that what we've been through in the past few years, certainly for me, has landed me in a place where I'm thinking a lot more clearly about a lot of things. My Uranus by transit is actually in my 5th house. Depending on where your Taurus is where this is really going to be impactful. Now, I do not do horoscope astrology, so I don't want to say too much in this regard, because I don't really find it too helpful to too many people to have a little blurb about your life given to you because you're a Taurus or you're a Sagittarius or whatever. I personally think that we're just so much more individual than that. And when you really understand how to read a chart, you realize that so much of the chart expresses such bigger meaning than what one sign or one ascendant can do. So, that's always the story. We're much broader, we're much more complex than we understand. And this card here suggests, in tandem with the Man of Cups, that we are here to gain. We're surfing, we're coming into this life. We want things, right? We want to engage, we want to touch life, we want that water to be deeply meaningful to us and have relationships all around us as a result of it. But we're being asked to think clearly of something new. Okay, so here you have this Ace of Crystals, which is the same as an Ace of Swords, saying there's these, and crystals I use for guidance. A lot of my readings previously, when I was doing them in writing, I would have them laid out with a crystal grid. I'm a believer that crystals have something to contribute to us spiritually. So we are being guided into something new. Okay. We get the Emperor. Right now we're kind of going through the phase of it where it's all about power and dominance and someone being in charge and in control, and if you do this, we're going to do that, and don't you think you can get away with any of it, and how we get along. We are being asked to look at that as well. In very difficult times, we're out here misbehaving in some ways that is just very troubling. I mean, I find that Putin going after the Ukrainians to be horribly painful in some ways to observe. And then we have a governor in a state that tells us we can't use the word gay. What are we doing? Okay, and the emperor comes to mind. And we have a past politician who says that he was wrongfully removed from office. I mean, we couldn't have any more emperor-like energy upon us if we tried, and it's been very difficult, in a time where what we're needing from our leaders is something very different than machismo, brawn, and how to show you're the right type of man, that can, the tough man that can get the job done. I'm sure that really all of us are way over it. So we get the Woman of Cups. And what is she saying? Well, she's saying, yeah, it is time for a softer, gentler approach. This would be about relationships, love, depth, the Queen of Cups, who has information, who understands that we're going through things, who is holding back information, expecting us to acquire that information in ways that are healthy if we can. And so here we sit with this week, and we're being asked with Uranus and Taurus to really look at ourselves, how we go about things, so that we are keeping in mind those around us whom we love. And this brings to mind a story that happened just very recently, that someone who was involved in a relationship, and it was about love, got COVID in the middle of it, and someone got COVID. And this person wants love and forgiveness, but failed to respect and honor the boundaries, and felt money was more powerful and could fix this than maybe just the ethics of being careful and wearing a mask and not exposing others. So the Queen of Cups, how we treat each other. We have been put through a lot, and a lot of us want to buck, and we want to say, no vaccine for me, no mask, no this, no that. But it's not maybe just about you. Maybe it's about other people too. And so it's a very personal issue, and I am not here to dictate, preach, or otherwise make anyone feel as if they should do something different than they're doing. But this card here suggests to be mindful of those you love, because relationships right now are really delicate. In some ways, I think that fragile would be the word I would even use. That how we are interacting over our various principles due largely to this emperor energy, where someone has an opinion, a strong opinion, wants to be right. But remember, we're in Uranus energy now. We're stepping away from this kind of thing, and we're stepping into Uranus, which is a very different energy. It's quite a bit more loving, but ethereal too. It's Aquarius, if you think about that. Uranus comes from Aquarius, and it's this universal energy where we are being asked in the North Node to not only perfect and bring about something different in our house of objects or second house, Taurus, our home, how we go about things. Uranus is saying, well, I'm here to assist you and to make this more of a humanitarian type of energy. So what's our next card? We have the Star. There's hope. There's plenty to be hopeful for. This eclipse is a 6-month cycle. It'll happen on the 30th. What might you expect then? Well, as things unfold, it's like the combination on a lock. You hit the first number. That might be the first pass, the solar eclipse itself, and then down the road, solar eclipses are 6-month events. Another number becomes unlocked, and then finally, in 6 months, the numbers are unlocked, and we have some idea of what's happening. Okay, here we are. We are being given hope. In our 6-month, end of 6-month cycle from the previous eclipse to this eclipse, we are now getting the Star. So there's suggestion that there's much to be hopeful for in this humanitarian energy that's coming forward. In addition to that, to kind of on on a larger note that'll come into play is Saturn is about to go into Pisces, where it is going to really ask for perfection in the spiritual realm, where we now have Jupiter as well as Neptune. So we are seeing the essence of a spiritual humanitarian upgrade / awakening. And what is our last card in this reading? It's the Fool Child. And what is this card trying to say to us? Well, I'm thinking that it's saying that we come into this with passion that burns and keeps us somewhat focused where we're going. A good example of that would be, I feel like I'm a little girl at times that sits alone by my fire and contemplates quite a bit, thinks about everything in some deep detail. The fire keeping me warm. We are all fool childs. We're fool childs because we come to this, we have great expectations. It's difficult. We have to learn how to keep ourselves warm. Additionally, we need to learn to do our shadow work. That is coming into the fore. Pluto happens to be going into Taurus as a matter of transit. And when Pluto goes into Taurus, transformation in house and home, where Uranus is there looking to revolutionize, upset, and rearrange what has been laid out before us. So with that, I thank you very much for joining me here today for this weekly reading, and thank you very much. And I got to find my record button. Okay.